As a Canadian taxpayer, I wish I knew sooner that global instability would eventually show up in everyday Canadian costs. As of May 2026, many Canadians are no longer only worrying about grocery prices, rent, or inflation on their own. Increasingly, these pressures are becoming connected to a larger debate inside Ottawa over federal spending, security commitments, and the growing cost of operating in a more unstable world. Welcome to World Strategy Lab. For years, geopolitical instability often felt distant from everyday Canadian life. Military alliances, wars, and international security issues were viewed as problems handled mostly by governments far from ordinary households. That separation is beginning to disappear. Governments across the Western Alliance are now under growing pressure to increase defense and security spending, while also dealing with public frustration over affordability and economic pressure at home. For Canada, this creates a difficult balancing act. Federal budget discussions are increasingly colliding with concerns surrounding healthcare funding, housing affordability, infrastructure pressure, and public services many Canadians already feel are stretched thin. That trade-off matters. Many households are still struggling with elevated grocery costs, expensive housing, higher borrowing costs, and ongoing financial uncertainty. At the same time, governments are facing growing pressure to prepare for a world shaped by rising geopolitical tension and expanding alliance commitments. The result is increasing fiscal pressure. Economic analysts continue debating how governments can sustain rising long-term spending obligations without placing additional strain on taxpayers or public finances already carrying significant debt. This is where the conversation becomes personal. For many Canadians, federal spending discussions are no longer abstract political debates. They increasingly connect directly to questions about taxes, affordability, healthcare access, and long-term financial stability. Supporters argue stronger security spending is necessary in a far more unstable world. Critics warn that ordinary households may eventually absorb the economic pressure through inflation, higher taxes, or reduced fiscal flexibility over time. There is also a psychological shift underway. Canadians are beginning to recognize that geopolitical instability does not stay overseas forever. Eventually, it starts influencing domestic priorities and the cost of maintaining both security and living standards at the same time. The reality is straightforward. Canada is entering a period where global instability and household economics are becoming increasingly connected. As of May 2026, the debate is no longer only about national security. It is about how much economic pressure Canadians are willing to absorb while trying to preserve their quality of life. Stay informed. This is World Strategy Lab.